today's 2020 Vision episode, we sit down with Tangi McDougald. She is an Amazon best-selling author in the anthology Blessed Not Broken, Journey to Finding Purpose in Marriage, Motherhood, Entrepreneurship as a CEO wife. Raised in Hartford, Connecticut, she is a mother of three and a wife, and a graduate of the University of St. Joseph, where she obtained a master's degree in clinical mental health counseling. And without further delay, let's get to the conversation. I'm really excited for this one.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction. I'm Tangi McDougald. I'm a licensed professional counselor and CEO of Community Matters.
Just the Community Matters part was really what kind of gravitated me towards wanting to know more about you. So how did you get your start in? What kind of drew you to wanting to become a licensed therapist?
Good question. I've always been drawn to helping others, and I believe our children are our future first and foremost. I believe that if we are supplying them with the tools they need to be successful in life, we will be successful in life as a whole, as a community, and overall as a country. And so I came up with the name Community Matters because I feel like I want to be able to service the community one household at a time.
Well, that's amazing. When you are actually meeting with multiple clients, what's kind of your process? Because there's everybody's got a different story, everybody's got a different background. What's sort of your process in kind of having to deal with multiple people daily?
So our agency services children, adolescents, and adults. I thought developing that type of structure was important to be able to not only touch the children, but I believe that the things that are instilled within the children comes directly from the home, right? So it was important for me to get familiar with the families that I serve. So having the parents come in, having them feel a place of comfort, and then so my process is creating a home-like atmosphere.
Okay.
Making them feel that this is their place of comfort. A place that they can go to, and as a woman of color, someone that they could relate to.
That's probably very important, the relatability, for them to be able to open up to you and kind of learn from your processes what you teach. That's probably the biggest factor, is people feeling comfortable enough to open up and actually have an open dialogue with you.
I think that's a huge barrier that's been broken with my agency. A lot of people come in and they say, wow, I finally found a therapist that understands, or a therapist that they can relate to. So yes.
Fantastic. So your services, I know you want to touch a little bit upon the people that you assist. Do you do any other services as part of your company?
Absolutely. One of the things that I noticed growing up with myself and also working with other community action agencies is the access. That if there are basic needs that needs to be met within a household, the attendance to come to therapy will be lower, right? You're going to get the no-shows, people who, have to choose between going to the food pantry or coming to therapy, right? And as important as important as therapy is, of course, we're going to choose food, clothing, and shelter,
right,
of course, first and foremost, right? So through the agency, I like to be able to offer some sort of services or resources to my families. So some of the things that I do is we do provide basic needs through a program called Everyone Should Eat. Everyone should eat, or Food for All. So if I have a family that's in need that reaches out to me, I try to accommodate them the best way I can, and also help enroll them in a SNAP program or connect them with the agency to get enrolled in programs like that.
That's major, because you're not only helping them mentally, but physically as well. So as a healer, with everything going on now, do you have clients that come in and have concerns about what's going on in the world today? And we've seen all the riots and everything like that.
Absolutely. With the COVID pandemic that's happening, and even with the rise in the Black Lives Matter campaign that has risen, the anxiety levels of the families have increased. Being able to not walk around and play like they would normally do, or the children missing their other students, right, in school because they have to be homeschooled this year. Parents being laid off, not sure how they're going to be able to financially adjust. So all these things have played a huge factor within the households, and so the anxiety levels have increased. And so just trying to work with those families and provide them as a support, an ear to listen to, along with help them problem solve and come up with solutions to help them get through their day to day.
Have you seen that there's, over the years, progressing through, that the stigma of therapy has started to kind of dissipate? Or?
Absolutely. I get excited when I talk about therapy. There was a time, especially culturally, when things happen to us, whether it's through, generations or, household things that happen. There was always that saying, whatever goes on in a house stays in the house, right? So the good, bad, and ugly, we tend to not share within amongst others, right? Me being a woman of color, and I'm going to hold to that for a moment, me being a woman of color, I feel tends to open up the door for more, because culturally they're able to say, you know what it's like, and I can say, yes, I do. And they're willing to let go and talk about things that normally they would shove under the rug. So it's more normalized now. The agency, I see a rise in men coming in for therapy, for couples coming in trying to work out therapy, and before you would get no's. You would get, no, I'm not interested, that's not what we do.
Okay.
So, yes.
So let's just jump back to the men's side of things for a moment, because
Okay.
we do have our wall that we put up.
Yes.
Do you find that it's easier once they become more comfortable, that everything will start to flow, or is it sort of a process? It takes time.
So I always say through the initial contact, you're going to know whether or not there's somewhat of a connection there. But I do have a three-strike rule. Try me out for 3 sessions and get a feel for me as I get a feel for you, and we could decide whether or not this is a good fit for you.
Into your background, so what was coming up, what was kind of the things that led to you becoming the business owner, the leader, the role model that you have become?
Okay. Growing up, I always knew I wanted to be in business for myself, but I didn't necessarily know in what capacity. Like, what is it that Tangi wanted to do? It wasn't until my daughter was like in 2nd grade and she was having problems in school. She was being bused out to the suburban school coming from Hartford, and she was having some problems in school. And as I inquired, I noticed that there was a gap. And the gap had to do with like just dealing with kids, inner city kids, and learning how to be culturally competent.
Right.
And so as I would come into the school and meet with the administrators and sit in her classes, I just felt the need to help more. I noticed that children that were struggling socially were being labeled, and I didn't like that. And so I thought, what could I do?
Okay.
And I ended up going to school for social services initially and received my associate's degree,
Okay.
and just continued from there.
Having that people being bused in, it's a whole different world for not only the students but for the teachers. I feel like once they start labeling them, if the kids hear that, they might start believing it, and that just
Absolutely.
it's not going to be
Absolutely.
good for progression either through life or just confidence in themselves.
Absolutely.
So I feel like that's definitely, you saw that need there, and then being able to actually provide that service now is great, and I feel like a lot of people are going to benefit from that.
Thank you.
So what's your personal definition of success?
Success for me is being able to be in position. It's a position of freedom, right? Not only just being able to come and go, but success means being happy and well-rounded. So that's what's success for me.
To pivot off of that success point, so I've been doing a little bit of research. I know that you have a book that's coming out. Would you be able to tell me a little bit more about that?
Absolutely, I'm excited about my book. Thank you for mentioning it. I'm excited about the book. So I recently released an anthology. It's called Blessed Not Broken, and this book project was developed with the visionary Tamira Mitchell Davis. She had a vision that she wanted to create an anthology that would inspire and help others. And so me and 9 other women got together, and we each contributed a chapter of our lives. The book recently released in May. We did a run on Amazon and became a #1 Amazon bestseller in 10 categories. So I'm excited about that book. 10. 10.
10.
And
That's
so,
fantastic.
yeah, we held #1 for about 6 days. And so that's huge.
That is really huge.
That's
Was that the your first experience going into the writing field, or have you done any writing in the past?
You know, besides writing for school, besides writing and essays and things like that for school, I've never written before. So this was my first jab at it.
First jab and
First
already
jab.
a #1 seller.
Yes, I want to attribute that to the knowledge of the visionary. She came in with a lot of knowledge. She brought in expertise to the room to help and develop us because it was 9 of us who never met each other before, right? In the arena of writing our stories, and we are all at different stages of our lives.
Right.
So for her to bring that project to life and develop everyone to be able to write in a space like that and be authentic and be safe, to feel safe enough to give a part of them. And it was amazing.
That is a big step, being able to share your story. That is you putting a piece of yourself onto the page and just telling the reader or listener, however they're gonna, consume it. Here's my story. Here I am. So that builds that connection with your base. Are you seeing that there's anybody that you either is involved with Community Matters now that has read the book and learned something from and brought that back to you yet, or is it still kind of early in?
The testimonies have been phenomenal. So yes, so there's a lot of people. We did the pre-sale
Okay.
Prior to going live on Amazon. We did the pre-sale. We did very well there. And so, as people waited for the book, we then launched the electronic book, the ebook, on Amazon. And I'm telling you, it's a page turner. As people were reading, they were calling, whether we were getting phone calls or inboxes.
Right.
So the people have already read the book. People who have purchased the ebook and then turned around and brought the book. And so now that the books are in, I'm going to be shipping them out this week. But they're excited. They read the book. They're inspired. I have a family member that's in South Carolina that called me up and said, unbelievable. She couldn't believe the story that I shared and how relatable the other stories are, and how that she was able to pick up a piece from each chapter and apply things to her daily life. And that's exactly what we wanted.
Are all the other authors also therapists, or are they just coming from different fields? And
They are coming. So they are 9 African American women.
Okay.
I believe 4 is in Connecticut. We've never met each other personally at all. So this is the kicker, okay? Tamira was able to put this group together, this group of women. They're all CEOs, right?
Right.
So Black business owners together to share in this book project, right? But we've never met each other. So not only did we come together, but we broke the stereotype of Black women can't work together, right? So we came together. There was no drama. I have one of the co-authors is a therapist out of Tampa.
Okay.
The other is, I believe 2 are in North Carolina, Virginia, and Missouri. St. Louis? Yes.
St. Louis,
St.
yes.
Louis.
Okay.
Yeah, and Connecticut. So, yes.
Got a whole bunch of different
Yeah,
areas,
different
stories,
areas.
different experiences.
Absolutely.
And we're back. And again, we're going to be learning a little bit more about Community Matters. And just want to dive in a little bit more into when starting the company, what were some of the challenges that you ran into just kind of forming your business and getting started?
So for me, it was challenging because I had to recognize that my vision is not everyone's vision. Not everyone is going to believe in what I believe I can do. And so although I was equipped with friends and family, not everyone was a believer. And so it was like I was taking this journey of entrepreneurship
Right.
alone.
Yeah.
You know, I had people questioning, why would you leave this lucrative job to go in business for yourself? What if it flocks? You know, the woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Yeah.
And that didn't work for me at all because I was walking by faith. And when you're walking by faith, it's a different type of walk.
Different.
It's
yeah.
a different type of walk. So there was no challenge in me opening a business that I couldn't conquer.
Okay.
I would say one of the obstacles was finding a business consultant that wasn't fearful.
So what's next?
Wow, a lot. I'm excited. Community Matters will be transitioning into a psychiatric clinic
Wow.
for children. So I'm excited. I have a whole team of psychiatrists that's coming aboard, APRNs along with clinicians. So I'm excited about that expansion.
That is great news. Being able to, so is it going to be the same clients, or with the expansion and what you're doing, are you going to be able to bring in a whole nother, not round necessarily, be a whole nother clientele base with that? Are you able to?
I'm still going to be serving children and
Okay.
adolescents personally on a clinic level, it would be children and adolescents.
Okay.
For myself, I will be seeing adult clients as well. However, I'm expanding my consulting business as well. So with that being said, I'm looking to work with more entrepreneurs or people that are interested in developing new businesses.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yes.
You being able to help out the community and grow, and with the internet expansion, I feel like, plus us being locked into the home, people are going to need to find a way to make it, or they're going to have to make their own way to make it.
Absolutely. I think this COVID pandemic and this social distancing pandemic that we're in right now, that people are actually, they're tired. They're tired of sitting, waiting for a phone call to tell them if they can go back to work. Some are scared and nervous for their families to go back to work.
Right.
So you hear more and more people that are getting in tune with their talents and just, more interested in starting their own businesses. And so that's where I like to come in.
I feel like it gave people the chance to actually learn themselves what they do, what their passion is, because they didn't really have a choice. Like you're there with you. You got to kind of figure out who you are and what you really want out of life.
Exactly.
All right. So, is there a resource or a way that they're able to reach you if they do want to talk about this tough time, or if they just want to invest in any of your services that you provide?
Absolutely. So Community Matters can be reached directly. Our phone number is 860-282-8882, or you could visit us at our website at mycommunitymattersllc.com. For those entrepreneurs who's looking to start their business, that is looking to narrow down on their purpose and learn their talents, what their talents and skills are, so that they may be able to go in business. I'd love to be able to help you. You can reach me directly at the same number, 860-282-8882, or you can actually schedule a discovery call with me on my website at iamtangie.com. That's IAMTANGIE.com.
I want to thank you for allowing me to come in today, learn a lot more about your business, and thank you for also helping the people of the community, because we need help. So every bit that you're putting in, I'm hoping that you're feeling your impact, because it's definitely big on people.
Thank you. I just want to give back and pay it back to my community. So I thank you for having me.
Not a problem. Thanks again for watching.